Hey everybody, it's Abby Glassenberg from Craft Industry Alliance. We are a trade association for craft and creative business owners. Welcome to our Wednesday Member Spotlight. This is our live video where we have an opportunity to chat with one of our amazing members and learn more about their business, drop in on their studio, see what they're working on, hear about their journey, and it's one of the highlights of my week. And today we're going to be hearing from Christina Arcenegui Bono, who actually lives in Spain. And I think a lot of people might not realize that Craft Industry Alliance has members all over the world. We have a lot of members in the United States for sure, because we are based in the US, but we actually have members in lots of other countries too, including the UK, Australia, Germany, and Spain. So I'm super excited that we're going to be talking to one of our members who is from abroad today. And Christina is actually a long arm quilter, and she makes the most beautiful projects. So I'm really excited for her to join. Let's see. I did want to tell you a little bit about what else is going on at Craft Industry Alliance. So today, my colleague Kate and I have just begun formatting our first ever gift guide. So this is going to be a handmade gift guide featuring all products and services from our members. We have a lot of formatting to do because I think last time I checked there were 167 entries. So, but we've got it all set up and we're working on it together. This gift guide is going to go out on December 1st. I'm very excited to be able to share it with all of our audience here on Instagram and elsewhere. And Christina, I see you here, and I'm going to invite you to go live. So you'll see that request, and that will come through. I'm super excited to see your long arm quilts and all the beautiful things that you make. There you are. Hi.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm very well, and you?
I'm good. This is great. I'm so excited. So you live in Spain, is that right? Will you tell us a little bit about where you live?
Yes. Well, I live in the south of Spain, and near Seville, which is an historical city. And well, I've been living here almost all my life, although I lived in Canary Islands and United Kingdom, and but basically I lived here almost all my life. And
Wonderful.
actually, my workshop, where I am at the moment, this is where my parents, my bedroom, sorry, my parents' bedroom, old bedroom. So I have my business in my old parents' house. So
That's funny. Oh, wow. That's great. And so
yeah.
I love your quilts, and I wanted to maybe start with kind of how you arrived at quilting, because I think that a lot of people associate quilting as sort of an American heritage craft and maybe not something that tons of, people in Europe do maybe. So how did you first discover quilting and get immersed in the quilting world?
Well, I was living in London in 1996, and I went to watch a film called How to Make an American Quilt.
Okay.
I I have never heard of patchwork before, and you know, when the film was finished, I said, "Well, I want to learn to do this." The spirit, the use of fabrics and all that, and especially those women getting together once a week and doing things for their families and all that. So I wanted to do that. So this is how I got into patchwork. Although I didn't start doing patchwork until 1999, to make small quilts for my future son that was born in 2000. So
Right.
so
Yeah, I think a lot of people get inspired to make their first quilt when they have kind of a life cycle event, like having a child or a wedding in the family. So you made a quilt, it sounds like, for your son before he was born. And you really specialize in, or I feel like excel in long arm quilting. So like whole cloth, long arm quilting. And I wondered when you were introduced to that and then got a long arm machine.
Well, the thing is, it was 2003, and I hated really doing, hand quilting. So I used to quilt with my grandmother's threadle machine. All right.
Wow.
So I asked my battery instructor, is there any machine that, is there any way that we can do this easier? And she said, yes, yes. And there are certain machines, and there is a lady in Spain who does this from home. And she has a 3 months waiting list. At that time, I was looking for a job to do from home because I wanted to take care of my son. And I said, oh, this is just for me. So this is how I got started in the long arm quilting business. So I purchased my first long arm quilting machine in 2005 and the second one in 2015. And I haven't stopped since, really. So this really allows me to work from home, to take care of my family. And so I have a flexible schedule, sorry. Okay, so whenever I need to take my son to a hospital or something like that, you see what I mean? I can adapt my working hours to my family. So yes, this is how I get started.
And your long arm quilt designs, they are like a painting. They're really incredible. Like you're really painting with thread. These are not, I don't know, like what your typical long arm quilting designs look like. They're just stunning. I don't know if you have some nearby that you can show us and talk a little bit about them.
Yes, absolutely. Well, I must say that I got started into pictorial whole cloth quilting when I watched a segment on QNN TV from Ebony Love, and she talked about collaboration quilting and about asking for permission to coloring books illustrators. And so this is how I really thought, well, this is something I want to do, really. So let me show you. Right. This is an example. Right. This is an illustrate. Well, this is a small quilt, and it is based on an illustration from Daria Song, a Korean illustrator. All right. The same here. Right. This is just an exact copy of her illustration. Right. And let me show you. Okay, what I'm working at the moment. Okay. I teach online classes, all right, and in person, and I had a contract to teach at Houston Quilt Festival and the Pacific International Quilt Festival, but I couldn't travel because the USA borders were closed until yesterday. All right. So my best-selling class is iPad for quilters, and it's not artistic, but it is to make the most of your iPad. As a crafter, as a quilter. Most people use their iPads for surfing, for watching movies, and I have nothing against that. I do it myself, but there is so much you can do with your iPad. So my next new class is apart from the iPad, is to show people that you can use public domain vintage illustrations, okay, and transfer that in your iPad, enlarge the illustration. So I transfer these into Procreate. So this is based on a vintage illustration.
Yeah.
And the next step
And that illustration's in the public domain, so anybody can use it.
Right. That's right. So you can see what I'm working at the moment.
Yeah.
So this is the illustration, but this is not the illustration. This is my what I've done in Procreate, okay, based on that illustration. And I transfer that into fabric, and I'm quilting that. Do you see what I mean?
Yes, you're drawing that illustration in black thread on white fabric.
Different, I use different thread colors because people are you going to teach us how to do a jumping girl, okay, a girl like this? And I always say, well, I cannot teach you to do that because this is based on an illustration from a Ukrainian artist called Sveta Dorosheva. So the way, I'm teaching people is, okay, there are thousands of public domain illustrations, photographs that you are free to use, and they are beautiful. So this is the way I teach that.
Yeah.
Apart from that,
it's really freeing too, because if you're not yourself an illustrator, let's just say you don't have exceptional drawing skills, this gives you a way to be able to do a whole cloth quilt with a really beautifully drawn illustration in thread, and it's totally legal. There's no problems with you selling it or showing it or whatever, because you're using a public domain illustration that you've manipulated in Procreate.
Yes, and the other thing that I also teach, because I don't have, I'm not good at drawing. At some point I said, well, I want to do my own thing, but because I feel that I have no sense of proportion, I thought, well, forget about doing something realistic. You see what I mean? So I thought, why don't you draw basic shapes like the teapot, the teacups,
right,
and do something, how do I say, something
whimsical,
more childish? That's right. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So you would never find this in real life.
And is that applique? Is that applique and stitching on top?
No, this is what I do is okay, the same as here. Okay. But I color, once everything is quilted, I color on top of the quilt. But I mean, it's already quilted.
And are you using paint and a paintbrush, or are you using a paint marker?
My favorite method is fabric markers.
Okay.
All right, cool. Because they don't bleed.
Right.
You see what I mean? I love watercolor pencils. However, you need to apply fabric medium or aloe vera, and on top of that, I don't like the unsaturated look. I prefer, saturated colors, and I haven't been able to get that effect with watercolor pencils. So that's why I use fabric markers.
Yeah, it's so cool, because it really is similar to a coloring book in that way. You have a big piece of white background, you're doing the stitching to create the outline, then you're taking markers, you're coloring in to fill in the space the way that you want it to be, but it's a quilt in the end instead of being a coloring page. And so, but I imagine when you're working on it, it's almost got that same kind of, I don't know, like relaxing feeling that you get from coloring page, which, we have that big adult coloring book trend for a reason, right? It's just sort of like relaxing, and it kind of puts you in that zone.
Yes, I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, that's so great.
Mm-hmm. So I wanted to say that I'm teaching the iPad and and the girl. I'm teaching that. It hasn't been announced yet, but I can say that in public. Mancuso is hosting a new festival, a new online festival at the end of January 2022.
Okay.
From January 26, 27, 28, and 29 online. So I'm teaching 26, 27, and 28 iPad and pictorial whole cloth quilting, and you can do it from from your own home, really. And it will be Eastern time. You see what I mean?
Yeah, so that's super because it makes it accessible. I mean, that's been one of the real blessings of the, sort of silver linings of the pandemic, really, is that, I mean, QSO, which, ran for so long and still does run in-person quilt shows, but now has an online event where anybody even people who can't travel for whatever reason, can access it. And plus, you're in Spain, maybe they would never have met you. And so this is just a wonderful way to open up quilting instruction to the whole world.
Well, I must tell you that I became a member of Craft Industry Alliance after taking a class with Mel Beach, an online class in April 2020. So that class was about, teaching, how to become a teacher. You see what I mean? So it was full of information, and one of the things was, to become a member of Craft Industry Alliance, and I'm so glad I did, really. So
that's wonderful, and yay, Mel! I'm so glad that you took her class. That's awesome. So many people have learned to be an online teacher or to improve their online teaching by working with her. So that's awesome.
Yes.
So tell us first where we can check out your work for those who are just curious to see your whole portfolio. And then if folks want to sign up for this Mancuso course that's coming up at the end of January, where they should go, or I guess maybe it's not publicly released yet, it sounded like. So maybe, I don't know if you know anything about how to sign up for that.
Okay. I should have my Instagram account updated, but I promise I will update it this week.
Okay.
And so, do you mind, because if I give you my website address now, it will be it will take ages really to spell it. Okay. So can I send you my my website so you can publish that?
Absolutely.
Okay,
and we'll put it in the caption below this video.
All right. So just one second. You want me to? Okay, I shouldn't do this.
I love the quilt behind you, by the way. It's so pretty. It's so like it has to feel like a cheerful patchwork look to it. So I just really love it. I love your background.
It is it was a kit KIT from Moda Fabrics.
Okay.
All right. So, nothing, not creative at all, but I love
it's so
solid fabric. Why? Because as a long arm quilter or as a machine quilter, you love solid fabrics.
Right.
It is the fabrics that you get. Okay, when you want to show your quilting, you better use almost solid fabrics. You see what I mean? It shows very, very well. So
absolutely, it pops off of the background, because if there's lots of prints and they're very busy, it can almost be difficult to see the quilting unless you get really up close. But when there's solids or big expanses of solid, it's a lot easier for the quilting itself to be the star of the show.
Mm-hmm. Well, I just wanted to tell you also that the other thing that I love is this is another one of my best-selling classes, which is Trappy Quilting, and basically what we do is that we do the quilting and the applique at the same time. Okay, so and this is very, very forgiving, because there is no pattern for this. Okay, so I encourage people, to draw ovals, to draw hearts, and to use what they have on their stash. I mean, the way this class started is because, we were in lockdown in 2020, and I challenged myself to use those fabrics that have been in my, in my workshop for
forever,
for years and years. And I said, you have nothing to lose, really. So I challenged myself to use the ugliest fabrics I could find, all the fabrics that really didn't appeal to me. And this is really how I started doing this. And it's kind of, freeing. You see what I mean?
Right.
You have nothing to lose.
If it goes wrong, who cares? Because you weren't using them anyway. And so when you said that the quilting is done at the same time as the applique, are you putting a fusible on the back of those applique pieces and then ironing them to the base cloth and then doing the quilting, or are you not? Are you just laying them on top and then doing the quilting?
Yes, that's right. What I do, okay, is that we lay the fabrics on top, okay, and we have done the sandwich. We lay the fabrics on top, and we do everything together.
That's great. So
you don't do the applique and then do the sandwich and then do the quilting. All right. So it's kind of freeing. And if anything goes wrong, like I'm not happy with this, don't worry. A stick, attach another piece of fabric.
Right. You can always build up the layers, it seems like.
Yes, that's right. It's like this one. I did something that I didn't like, behind this. So you know what? I attached this.
Yeah. It's really almost like making a fabric collage with like doodling, basically. So if that idea appeals to you, then that's the perfect kind of, I can see why that's a best-selling class, because it's like low commitment as far as fabric is concerned, and it's just like a fun project you can just do when you're feeling creative and want to tackle something. So that is so cool. Right. This has been awesome. I'm so excited that you're a member of Craft Industry Alliance. I'm excited for your upcoming classes, and I hope people sign up and have an opportunity to learn from you, because you've got a lot to offer. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Abby. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. I'm so glad to be here. Thank you very much. Okay, so
thank you for joining us.
Have a good week.
Okay, bye.